Hello YouTube, we are exploring a new place today. I call it the land of Sally Street. So, this is a very dumb idea, and I'll show you the watch as to why. It's 4:11. So the sunset today was about, it's going to be about 4:38. So in 27 minutes. And I am more than 27 minutes from my home, because I pretty much showed you everywhere that's within 27 minutes of my home. I mean, it's kind of creepy. You can pretty much pinpoint where I live. I mean, you probably can't. You're probably not that insightful. But that is the park. So, on that side of the NSP, pretty soon after this point, it'll actually flip over to 495. We're not going that far. We're just going to the park. Because, why are we doing this? Two reasons. Number one, I like exploring new places. I've seen this park a lot. I've always wanted to visit. And number two, I'm doing this because I want to see what's in this area. Because, I mean, you know, like you see that's actually from where the ramp is. So we're on one side of it. Sunnyside's on the other side of it. I showed you that in a video. Back in March 2020, of course. Because March 2021, things happened by that point. So that is the park. You can see beautiful fall foliage in the area. A nice moon, and you can tell that it's a moon because the sun is not high enough or bright enough to obstruct it. The sun is actually going to be setting very shortly because, you know, the time change. So now the sun, you know, I mean, the sunrise too is getting earlier though. It's now 6:37, and I think today is probably the last day of our depressing 11:37 solar noon. But yeah, this is Plainview Park, P12. This is the park that's really far north. Not totally sure how to untangle myself getting back home. I've been walking for like 40 minutes, so I'm gonna be a few minutes late no matter what I do. And there's people here, so I don't think I'm supposed to be recording. Is that actually fun? Is that actually fun? I'm making a YouTube video. I expect this park to be completely desolate. Oh, hi, Jacob. Yeah, so this is honestly a pretty lame park. There's a baseball field. I personally, it's big, and I saw it from the side of a highway, so I was like, I gotta go here. But I wasn't really supposed to go out this far because you have to cross a big road. But I occasionally have to walk to and from school. Okay, that's wet, so we're not going on that. We are gonna go on this though. That looks dry. This is probably the most exciting thing here. Just this slide that we're about to go down. And my butt's wet. I mean, that's pretty much it. I plan to spend a few minutes here, but this is honestly it. We're just gonna go back home. Now this is actually gonna be a bit of an edited video, kind of, because I'm actually making a brief time lapse and then sharing with you where I actually am. What? Oh, hello. I'm leaving this park. Yeah, that's fine. I knew we went to Matlin, but I didn't think it was actually this close to this park. Because you either gotta, I mean, this is pretty much in the middle of nowhere. I mean, you probably walked here. This is kind of a nice park. I mean, but I definitely will say I do kind of regret it. Because you think about it, so I went to one middle school, now I'm in high school. So I'm in POB, MS. This is in Matlin territory. Pretty enroached in it. But Matlin covers huge geographic territory, bigger than POB MS. It's just that Matlin's territory is a lot more remote, as you can clearly and hopefully see. Also, Matlin territory includes a lot more highways than POB territory. I think POB territory includes 135, and, you know, even then, only up to a certain point. POB territory is big, but Matlin territory is bigger in a geographic context. So we're actually going west. We're going to be going into the sunset. So we're going to be slightly prolonging our sunlight by mere seconds, because the sun, it is literally like about 2.5 minutes impact from here to New York City. We're about 30 minutes from New York City. So basically think about it that you gain a minute every 12 miles. Now, in a west direction specifically, I think we're only going to be going about like about a mile. So it's gonna prolong our daylight by about 5 seconds. I'll see you on the other side, and god damn, this was a stupid idea. So that was a time lapse. I hope you enjoyed. We are now back on Central Park Road, as a matter of fact. It's now 4:22. So we will film. I'll film a time lapse for a while. Just me walking here. So now I'm in territory that I define as a little bit more familiar. So from here, I always realized from that intersection right there, it's 27 minutes. And it's actually a formula I used to memorize. So this was this 81-minute walk that I used to take to the Five Bridges area. You might remember from my earlier videos. So it'll be 27 minutes for me to get to Woodbury Road, 27 minutes for me to walk on Woodbury Mineral Hill Road with an even amount of time split on each, like 13.5 minutes. Missouri license plate over there. No, I'm not going to show you anymore because I don't want to reveal the license plate number so that you can't track them. Because if I were to really show that to you, then you could technically sue me, the owner of the car, and then I could wind up getting in trouble. We do not want that, but I was trying to point that out. That was probably extremely stupid. So please do not take down this video. Now, I always remember though that was a point where I'd always take 27 minutes, but it was walking for about a minute, so it's 16 minutes. So it's about 10 more minutes left of the walk. I always remember. Now, today was actually a lot warmer than it normally gets. The thing is that, remember how I got to 70 on Tuesday? Well, the low dipped down to 40, to the low 40s before, but the night after it only got down to 52 or so. It didn't get into the 40s. But the next day, it only got to about 64 or so, I don't know. It got like somewhere in the mid-60s. And then it kind of began to drop back down and up and down. But this morning, it was actually about, it got down to about 55, and then it actually warmed as we had a storm incoming. So it actually warmed, and this is weird. This is weird. And how you always warm up before these storms come. This isn't the first time it's happened, and this certainly won't be the last. But what ended up happening is the temperature in there went up by a bit. It went up to 59 or so in the morning, 66 during the storm, and even, when it's 64, you had 100% humidity. So 64-degree dew point, it's kind of like this feeling of it's cold, yet humid. Basically, for humidity, you want it to be between 40 and 60. But you get out below 40, a lot during the winter. As the air temperature gets below 40, obviously the dew point is going to be below 40 as well. This makes it easier to spread viruses, and the 40s and 50s is most comfortable. So once you get to about 60, you start to have a bit of a humidity index, which, I mean, honestly, isn't the worst thing in the world when it's about 64, and you're not really used to it. A humidity index would make it feel like about 65, which would be kind of nice, but, it was like a slight humidity index, which it's probably only the last one of the year because you need it to be warm and at max humidity. Having both of them occur here is rare. So once you get to 65, though, it begins to become more muggy. And the thing is that technically in the summer, no one's saying the dew point can't be in the 30s and 40s, but it's very rarely in the 30s and 40s. It occasionally does dip into the 40s, particularly at a cold front. Maybe that would make it go into the 50s instead, where the air temperature might dip down to the 50s. Generally, the air temperature dips down to the 50s in just July and August. I mean, last year it happened 4 times. It happened on July 3rd and 4th, though pretty much the same event, so it could be counted as one. Happened again on July 31st. Oh, that was actually it, though. Oh, yeah. Yeah, so it dipped into the 50s on June 24th and 25th, and also on September 3rd and then 4th. It kind of depends. You need a strong cold front for this to happen, though. It's rare. I mean, technically, August has dipped into the 40s before. I'm not sure about if July ever got into the 40s. I think the record low in August here was 48 degrees, which, I mean, is staggeringly low. You very rarely have that, and instead, you generally have the humidity go up. So, once you go over 70, it begins to feel tropical. It begins to feel really humid. And honestly, humidity is something I never really factor into when I make my clothing choices, unless like actually a heat index. And I probably should, because I do then feel uncomfortable and feel like collapsing. But and then it begins to rise to the 70s. So once you get to 75 degree dew point, it's miserable. Now during Henri, I wasn't actually here, but the dew point here actually got to 80. But 80 degree dew points here are very rare, because it was like about 80 degrees, but maxed out humidity, which is somewhat common during a storm, actually. This made the real field jump up to 89, and it got even higher. But even then, having, 76, 77, 78 dew points do generally happen a few times during the summer. And again, a 79 degree dew point will make it feel like at least 84. But it'll be humid, and unless it's like completely maxed out, 80 would go to 89. 81 would go up to about 93. 82 and 83 would also go up to the upper 90s. And I think 83 would even be about 100. 84 would then go up to be about 108. So you can see, when you get to a 90 degree dew point, the best case scenario you could have is a real feel of 132, which is dangerous. But enough about that. My battery is probably going to get very low soon. I still have to get home. I might need to call my mom to pick me up because it is getting very late out. So I hope you enjoyed this stupid idea, and I'll see you next time.